Now, with a full stomach, dozing off came easy. I didn't even realize how tired I was. I listened to the gentle crackling of the fire. My vision darkened. Oh. Good night, Anastasia. Oh. 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 Yeah. Confusion. Humming invaded my dreams, stirring me awake. I blinked my eyes open to unfamiliar surroundings, swallowed in a blanket that clearly wasn't mine. Where? Oh. I spotted the familiar figure of my host seated on a stool in front of the fire, hands deftly working on the green scarf bundled on his lap. His back was towards me, but I caught glimpses of his fingers as the needles softly clicked between the yarn. I don't know how to knit, but I know how to crochet. He looked incredibly adept at using them, the rhythmic movements almost hypnotic as the fibers wound together in an intricate pattern. I slowly stirred into a sitting position, rubbing at my eyes. Hey, I'm rubbing at my eyes right now. The movement quickly caught his attention, ear flicking in my direction before his eyes trained onto me. Just like last night, his pupils blew up as we made eye contact. His expression lit up the instant he saw me. Anastasia, hey, I'm glad you're finally awake. You look so tired. I didn't want to disturb you until you've gotten enough rest. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Anastasia. Aw. Did you sleep well? I was still too groggy to answer his question, a yawn slipping out as I stretched. Not a morning person. He smiled kindly, a soft chuckle under his breath. Like a baby, then. He pointed over his shoulder to the door beside the fireplace, tilting his head towards it. You can freshen up in the bathroom if you'd like, while I start on making us some food. I'd have eaten breakfast by now, but I'd want you to join me while the food is still hot. How do eggs and toast sound? Do you have something else? Yeah. Let me insist upon something else while I am a guest in your home. After you, again, probably saved my life. No, that sounds delicious. Great! I'll see you in the kitchen then. He tucked away his knitting materials and set it aside. Oh, I also have a surprise for you after breakfast. It's not the most exciting surprise, but just join me when you're ready. He ducked into the kitchen without another glance. I could hear his boots thud about the floorboards, cabinets opening and closing in succession in the kitchen. Suppose that's my cue. Oh my gosh, I need to go get my tissues. Help! The cat allergies. I rolled out of bed, leaving the warmth of Michael's blankets and trotting over to the door Michael pointed out. Stepping inside, I didn't know what I was expecting when he said he had a bathroom, but it was surprisingly spacious. Yeah. Looks really nice. Very wooden. Everything looked like it was carved and polished out of wood. He seemed to have everything you'd find in a modern bathroom. A sink with a cabinet, a shower, and a tub. Even a toilet. Curious, I crept over to the toilet in particular, inspecting it. There wasn't a tank like you'd expect where the water would be stored. Instead, there was a compartment to the side full of sawdust and a scoop. I expected it to have at least a little bit of a smell, but it was surprisingly odorless. There was even a roll of toilet paper on the side. It was no flushing system, but it was hygienic. Michael must have done his research. Interesting. Walking over to the sink, I stare at the faucet before hesitantly twisting it. I jumped when I heard the rush of water pouring in, swirling in the basin before disappearing to who knows where. Wow. Why am I impressed by a damn functioning bathroom sink? I don't know either. You already know he has running water. I helped with the dishes last night. Yeah, I already knew Michael had plumbing. Shaking my head, I finished freshening up and headed to the kitchen. Michael looked up as I entered, a steaming kettle in his hand with 2 empty mugs on the counter. It might have been the lighting, but he was taller than I remembered. I wonder if that is like a genuine thing he can do. Or if that is just misremembering. Glancing to the table, I could see he already finished plating up our food. Heck yeah. Oh wow, you work fast. Michael looked proud of himself. Can't have my guests stay on an empty stomach. Go on, have a seat. I'll join you in a moment. I returned his smile and sat down, stomach grumbling as I looked at our plates. Ooh! Once again, Michael was generous with the serving sizes. Fat pieces of bread were toasted perfectly, with crisp buttered sides, bright red tomato slices, and crisp salad peeking underneath the fluffy eggs. That does look good. It looked amazingly tantalizing, the smell of savory herbs wafting into my nose. My mouth watered. Michael set down a steaming mug beside me before settling into his own seat. Peeking above the rim, I could see small flowers floating about, tinting the water yellow. It faintly smelled of apples. I recognized the yellow dried pellets on tea packaging I've seen before. Oh, chamomile. He nodded. I hope you like it. I'm sure I will. His smile widened, his tail swaying at the tip by his feet. He seemed more relaxed, showing his natural features this morning. Any trace of panic and hesitation from last night were gone, replaced by a look of contentment. I wonder if I had panicked, if this would be different, or if it's kind of like choices are minimally impactful, or at least that choice is minimally impactful. I don't know. Michael bit into his toast and I followed suit. The food was delicious as expected. The chunk of toast I bit into was heavenly, the butter sweet on my tongue. The tomato and salad provided a nice crisp balance. And the eggs! Something about simple home-cooked food is just the best. Michael was happy to eat in silence, occasionally looking up at me as I enjoyed my food. He smiled when our eyes met, his bottom pair narrowing into a happy squint. I wondered if he'd be open to some questions. Hey. Do you mind if I ask? Oh, okay. What's it like living in the woods? How do you have plumbing in your house? How did you learn to cook? So personally, I was wondering about the top two. Do I only get to ask one question? Oh no. Oh, the pressure. How did you learn to cook? How do you plumbing in your house? Let's ask about the plumbing. I know it's a silly question, but I can't stop thinking about it. Oh. You were wondering about that? The embarrassed look on my face is probably enough of an answer. Aw. Well, it's nothing fascinating. It's just rainwater I've got stored above the cabin. Just rainwater? He nodded. I detected a hint of pride as he continued. It's actually a recent installment, believe it or not. Granted, the project took a while, gathering materials, figuring out the tools, finding the right instruction manuals. Plus I had to figure out where to store the water tank. And don't worry, I installed a filtration system, so it's safe for us to use. I check in every few weeks to make sure nothing's contaminated. That sounded daunting. Yeah, that sounds like a lot. Especially considering he lived all the way out here in the woods. You did all of that on your own? I kinda had to. Anyway, it took a whole lot of calibrating and adjusting, but it really worked out. And now that I think about it, I'm glad you get to be comfortable here during your stay too. Does that answer your question? It does, yes. But where did you learn how to do all that? I had to figure out a lot of things on my own. There was a faint hint of exhaustion in his eyes. But to answer your question, I go to libraries a lot. It's where I learned about a majority of things. The fact that he even ventured into buildings at all already surprised me. And if I'm real lucky, they have all these neat DIYs and workshop manuals archived for anyone to browse through. It took a while to figure everything out. A really long time, actually. But hey, I had nothing but time. And it paid off. I'm considering upgrading the toilet next, but for now the composting setup works fine. Learned about that in an old camping guide. He paused to take a breath, as if he hasn't talked this much in a while. I'm rambling, but that's how I did it. Is there anything else you want to ask? Oh, no, I thought I was going to go back to the main 3 questions. No, we could just continue this conversation. It is fascinating, so I will. Wait, you've been to libraries? His ears perked up, posture straightening. Oh, yeah. I can't tell you enough how much books have helped me. I made it this far only because I figured out how to read? Well, figured out that I can read. Oh. Do you visit often? In my early days? Any chance I could get. What do you mean by that? In your early days. Nowadays, I stick to my side of the forest, though. Gotta make sure people don't wander too far off than they're meant to. I paused in my choosing at the teasing lilt in his voice. Hey! I'm joking. Anyways, if you're wondering what I do about this, he gestured towards his face. I just have to make sure everything's covered. You'd be surprised how little people pay attention to me when I bundle up just right. Do people not give you trouble? He shrugged nonchalantly. Small-time libraries are usually so empty from my experience. And people just mind their own business there. Huh, I guess that's true. I can't remember the last time I visited a library. I guess libraries would be Michael's equivalent to the World Wide Web. I should introduce him to the internet sometime. Actually, maybe not. Not without parental controls? What? What do you think he's gonna go looking for? Finally satisfied, I nodded and went back to eating my food. Oh, yeah, I can. Okay. How did you learn to cook? Cottage pie is a pretty complicated recipe. I just wonder if anyone taught you how to cook? I'd be lucky if someone could teach me how to make boiled eggs, Firefly. But it was trial and error, mostly. My earlier endeavors were, pretty much inevitable. Inedible. Oh my goodness. My allergies are frying my brains. I picked up a thing or two about cooking, though, so your taste buds aren't going to fall victim to any nasty creations, like in my early days, at least. Speaking of, did you enjoy dinner last night? Of course I did. You're a really good cook, Michael. I'm glad. It probably wasn't obvious, but I'm really happy I got to cook for you. No, it was obvious. Michael, it was obvious. I don't get guests often, in case you couldn't tell. I should ask you to cook for me every day, then. He grinned at my joke, looking pleased. I'd be happy to. I chuckled as I took another bite. So what's your favorite thing to cook? He lit up at the question. Fried mushrooms. Fried mushrooms? Yeah. There's plenty to find in a season to make. Huh. I do remember finding a patch of mushrooms yesterday. It smelled pretty funky, though. You remember that? Huh? What was that? Nothing. Anyways, mushrooms were the only thing I had for a while, before figuring out that I could eat other stuff like roots and veggies. Do you forage all of your ingredients? Mostly. The times I figured out how to catch fish and hunt game were the best of my life, I'll tell you that. My first taste of meat? He did an awkward version of a chef's kiss, as if mimicking something he saw on television once. Oh, Mamma Mia. Is he trying to say Mamma Mia? Oh, Mamma Mia. He continued before I could even dwell on it for a second longer. But nothing beats what you humans are able to make. You guys go nuts with ingredients. Rice was a challenge. It's a precious ingredient since I have to actually get some from a store. Once I figured out how to make it nice and fluffy, I consider it a special treat. I did a double take. You go to the store? Yeah. Where else would I get it? I thought you would grow it yourself or something. He laughed as I flushed in embarrassment. It's flattering you think I'm even capable of something that impressive, but no. There's only so much the Force can provide. But what about money? We're talking about human currency, right? Otherwise, how would you even... Do you actually have a job? A thought occurred to me. Oh, or did you steal it? He almost looked offended. Do you take me for a criminal? No. But that would mean that... Then how? I'm gonna guess the knitting thing. Michael bit into his toast, his 2 eyes winking in mischief. I have my ways, Firefly. What's that supposed to mean? I feel like it's the knitting. I feel like it's the knitting. Or maybe the knitting's just a hobby to fill the time, but you can sell that. What's it like living in the woods? I still can't believe how cozy you've managed to make it, considering the whole middle of nowhere thing. It wasn't like this when I found it. No? It was a major, fix her up her? So the cabin was abandoned. I never would have guessed. Yeah, I'm really happy I get to live somewhere permanent for once. It's not much, but it's home. What's it like? Peaceful, quiet. I do like it a lot. The forest provides me with everything I need. And nobody bothers me for the way I look out here. His ears twitched slightly. Sometimes you just happen to end up where it's most convenient for you and everyone else. The way he avoided my eyes as he said that gave me the impression there's something more to it. Like his home wasn't just out of convenience, but a fear of something else. I mean, I don't think that was like an implication. I think that was pretty... rejection, perhaps. Or perhaps something worse. But anyways, I don't really have anything else to say about it unless there's something specific you want to ask. He doesn't think about his answer much before beaming at me. What about you? I know you've told me a little bit about yourself, but what's it like being you? I scoffed, waving a hand. Please! I'm the least interesting person in this room, trust me. So true. His eyes were shining in earnest as he leaned forward. Tell me anyway. Oh, well, I told him about my life, at least the parts I was comfortable with sharing. Just like last night, his eyes didn't leave my face, occasionally darting about my features of interest. The direct ogling was making me nervous, but I suppose I was doing the exact same thing when it was his turn to talk. Eventually, I came to the topic of my job and the woes of living in modern capitalism. Let's go. I'm a bit jealous. You have the whole cottagecore aesthetic practically perfect. I am jealous. His face morphed into a confused pout. Cottagecore? I explained it to him in my own words. Oh, you're saying you want to live the way I do? Out in the woods? I nodded without hesitation. I mean, I wouldn't mind showing you the ropes. His tone seemed strangely lilted. What do you mean? Never mind. Anyways, I don't get what the appeal is, but it's not easy either, you know. The forest provides, but it's up to me to make use of it. Starting out was... A dark look crossed his face then, as if reliving a bitter memory. Woo! He is not liking that. Rough. Yeah. Buddy, I can tell by looking at you. But I'm built for survival. I feel like asking him to elaborate would make things awkward. I decided to veer the topic into a different direction. I'm too nosy. Doesn't it get lonely? Sometimes. But I'm used to it. He smiled, his eyes lighting up. Besides, I have you at the moment, don't I? I never thought I'd enjoy having someone around. You must be really special. I am special. Thank you. I'm starting to know a lot more about Michael. He didn't directly say it, but it felt like he was lonelier than he was letting on. Not to mention how he managed to make a home for himself all on his own. I had to wonder if he had anyone at all. Do you have any family around? Family? His expression turned solemn for a moment before he looked sheepish. Remind me how that works again? What? I get the concept based on some books I've read. Oh, I don't have what you call parents, if that's what you're asking. Oh! Okay. I don't think he means he's an orphan. I think he just means... He's like, I don't know, like a little sprout. Like he grew up from the ground. That's why he's mushroom-like? I don't know, that's my guess. Don't take anything I say as the truth. My mouth dropped open in shock. No parents? He shrugged and took another bite of toast. Not that I recall. Then how did you... What's that like, living with so many people like you in such close proximity? Dang, he cuts me off a lot. Huh? That's how it works, right? You and other humans living in one house? And you have this, DNA thing that makes you relate to the rest? That's what makes a family, right? Was he talking about DNA? His definition threw me off, but I had to answer somehow. Not just that. Family is... Okay, so our options are people you're related to, like your mom and your dad and your siblings and relatives. Okay. People that you love and care about, who love and care about you too. Okay. Actually, I guess they are just people you live in close proximity to, whether by choice or not. I'm gonna go with the people you love and care about. He seemed intrigued. Is that so? That does sound nice. Is there anyone that you love and care about? Of course I do. I have a family. Yeah, I love my friends. Of course I do. I have a family. I don't have a lot of friends. Heck, I'd even call my cat family. Ah, right. Obviously. And this is the same for all families? I bit my lip, pondering the question. It would be naive to think that. A lot of families do love and take care of one another, but not everything's perfect. Sometimes that love can be misplaced, or taken advantage of, or even abused. Michael looked thoughtful. So it starts with love. I've read some stories about that. Love, I mean. Though certain feelings just don't make sense to me. At least from a reader's perspective. I guess you'd have to experience it for yourself to understand. He stared at me unblinking for a moment. Yeah, you might be right. I never considered that. Then again, who would bother loving a monster like me, huh? Don't say that so cheerfully! Oh my gosh. What? You're not a monster. I look like one, don't I? That's besides the point. You're not denying it, though. I'm just saying, it's okay. You don't have to lie to me. So, family. Right. To be fair, everyone's definition of family could be different. What about you? What's your definition of family? Michael looked surprised. I asked him that question. I don't know. I mean, he did start with that question of like what explain the concept to me. So I'm not that surprised that he doesn't have a response ready. I never had one, and I think your answer just confused me more. Well, if you ever figure it out, let me know. Michael stared at the remaining crumbs on his plate before he nodded, avoiding my gaze. Sure. We both felt quiet, the lulling conversation blanketing us in a comfortable silence. All this family talk, it reminded me of the reason why I'm out here in the first place. To look for my beloved cat, a sight I might never be able to see again. I couldn't help the sinking feeling in my chest, the growing pit in my stomach. I wish I was able to find Yellowvent. You would have loved him. Michael opened his mouth to say something, but changed his mind. My voice warbled as a lump formed in my throat. Sorry. I just miss him so much. I keep thinking if I just went looking for him sooner, maybe I would have been able to find him by now. He was quick to speak up. You did your best, Firefly. No one else could have gone to the lengths that you did. You almost risked getting yourself... I'm sure wherever he is, he's doing okay. You really think so? I know so. His voice was laced with a confident assurance, despite the worried look on his face. I nodded with a quiet sniff. I hope so. He's just important to me is all. Michael looked like he wanted to reach across the table for me, but sighed instead. Actually, I'm sorry, Anastasia. I should tell you. Maybe I do have family, now that I think about it. That is not what I thought you were about to say. I thought you were about to say, I found your cat. Okay. Okay. That was the surprise I mentioned before. Wait, really? He nodded. Are you done? I could take you to go meet them right now. Oh, okay, we're going a little fast, but that's fine. I looked down at my plate. During the conversation, I didn't even realize I'd finished the meal. Yeah, I'm done. His movements were quick, stacking our empty plates and mugs and setting them in the sink. He grasped my hand before I could say another word, pulling me up and heading outside with me in tow. As the door swung open, I could only see Forrest ahead, before he tugged me along as he rounded the side of the cabin. Almost immediately, my peripherals were assaulted with greens on both sides. This is a nice little garden. I say little. That's a pretty big garden, but that's nice. I figured he was the type to grow his own vegetables, but to see it in person as confirmation was a whole different thing. With Michael leading the way, I only had a moment to take in the surrounding garden. He marked off the different plots with messy drawings on small wooden signs jutting out of the dirt. Carrots, lettuce, potatoes, trellises of tomatoes and beans. I wouldn't have been able to differentiate one plant from another without signs. Even the chamomile from our tea just now grew abundant close by, with the small buds swaying gently. I bumped into Michael as he suddenly stopped, the man looking over his shoulder to beam at me. Okay, we reached what looked like a fenced-off area with a bit of netting stretching all around. He stepped aside, watching me as my eyes widened. Chickens! Oh, they're so cute! 3 fat, happy little hens strutted around like they owned the place. As he entered through the gate, the hens swarmed over in an instant at Michael's feet, circling him and pecking at his boots. Is this his family? Is he about to say this is my family? Ladies, meet Anastasia. Anastasia? These are Mawar, Sansuyu, and Primrose. Mawar? Yeah. Or as I like to call them, Marmar, Sunny, and Rosie. That's a lot easier. I'm gonna go with that. He ducked to pick one up, fluffing up her feathers as he smiled. He gently scratched the hen's little head, which I assumed was Rosie. That's a good guess. That's what I would assume as well. She practically melted at his pampering, eyes sliding shut. The other 2 flapped their wings in a huff and went about their business once more. Michael leaned closer, beckoning me to pet Rosie. She was soft. Rosie's the oldest. She doesn't lay eggs anymore, but I couldn't bring myself to, So I brought her some friends. Marmar came first. Sunny's a more recent addition. What do you think? Do we make a good family? That's what I thought. That's what I figured was about to happen. They're family. I laughed and nodded, watching as Rosie nuzzled into Michael's chest. I didn't expect chickens of all things. Were you expecting something else? I was expecting it to be someone else. Oh. No. When you look like me, people don't generally stick around. There's that negative self-talk again. You don't even look that bad. The kindest thing I've said. That's a joke. The MC's not that bad. I just thought it was funny that right off the bat they're kind of like, oh, why do you look like that? But I think they've been very nice to him so far. And as far as what's my stance on Michael now, I like him. He's cool. He's chill. He's a chill dude. His eyes flicked to mine. A lock? Really? A look of pleasant surprise crossing his face. You really think so? Yeah? You can't be that naive, Firefly. I mean it! He let out a polite scoff as he scratched Rosie's head absently. You genuinely believe people wouldn't run away at the sight of me? Well, I didn't. His smile turned smug, the corner of his lips lifting just a bit. Of course you didn't. Because you couldn't. Shoot. He wasn't wrong. I was pretty much paralyzed in his bed the first time we met. I kind of just made up the rest of that sentence, but I got the right... I was pretty much paralyzed in his bed when we first met. I was close. I don't know where I'm adding and taking away words from. My brain is literally fried. It's been a long, long day. It's been a very bad day. But I'm enjoying this. But I still don't think you look that bad. Is that so? Describe me then. What? You heard me. Look at me and describe what you see. For a second, I thought he was being condescending, but looking at his eyes, all I could see was a bit of playfulness. He looked at me expectantly, eyes shining. You're tall? Go on. Wow. We're really, starting strong. You have blonde hair? He gave an amused squint. His left eye twitching. Left ear! Oh my lord! I cannot say anything. I cannot read anything. This is what happens. I can't record. Like, once it hits like 11, it's too late for me to record. My brain's turned off for the night. And it's like 12:14 right now. What else? You have green skin and a tail. He chuckled, though there was no malice in it. But that's not all, is it? He definitely expected me to say it straight. Oh, fine. So you don't look human. So what? He hummed absently. As I was saying, animals generally don't care if you look like a monster. My heart twisted at his words. His passive nonchalance somehow makes it even worse. Michael, you're not a tug on my shoelace caught my attention. A light brown hen stood at my feet, her beady eyes shining. She's beautiful! Sunny flapped her wings almost expectantly. Look at the little sparkles and her pretty little eyes. Aw, I think she likes you. Go ahead, pick her up, gently, like how I did with Rosie. I hesitated, but lowered myself to cup Sunny by her wings. Lifting her up, she was quick to nestle herself until she was comfortably tucked under my arms. I could feel her wings wiggling as she nuzzled into my side. So cute. Yes. Michael's gaze softened as I cooed at the chicken, mimicking her small clucks. So, did it help? Cheer you up, I mean? Oh, so that's what this was. A fuzzy feeling bloomed in my chest as he looked at me, chicken in his arms and concern on his face. A little bit, yeah. Only a little? I snickered, rolling my eyes. Okay, mister, a lot. That's more like it. His proud grin was infectious. I couldn't help smiling back. We spent a bit more time with the hens, petting them until they were satisfied. Michael even showed me the spot where they like to have their dust baths, little chicken-shaped holes scattered about in the dry soil underneath the coop. I think I see them. Once the gals had enough of us, we refilled the water container before leaving. He left them some treats, procuring them straight out of his pockets before shutting the gate. Okay, the girls' excited chatter over the food faded as we made our way back inside his cabin. I sat by his bed as he crouched down by the fireplace. So, like, I'm enjoying this, don't get me wrong. But why am I not, like, concerned about not getting to leave yet? I mean, you know, not getting to leave. But you know what I mean? I was like, yeah, no, first thing in the morning I'm going. I need your help to get back. But now I'm like, yeah, we can have breakfast. Yeah, let's go meet the ladies. Let's go meet the hens. Yeah, let's come back and hang out in your house. From the window, I could see the sun outside was getting higher. It might be close to afternoon now. Hey, Michael? He looked up at me from where he was stoking the fire. I rubbed my arms, unsure where to place my gaze. I think it's a good time for me to go now. That's what I'm saying. My expression fell, but I caught myself quickly. He done his best to cheer me up. It'll be inconsiderate towards him to leave in a bad mood. I might have to accept that I'll never see Elephant again. I think it's better if I focus on moving on. He was quiet for a moment, hands in his pockets. If you say so. But you don't have to leave just yet. We still got plenty of daylight left, and there's some places I want to show you. Won't you come with me? I had to decide. Oh. I did not get to decide. The illusion of choice. I promise I'll take you home right after. He took another step towards me. Please, Firefly? I didn't want to say it, but he looked desperate. Okay. I'll go with you. The joy in his face was shining bright as a billboard. Great! Let me get our stuff. He disappeared into the kitchen, returning with my backpack in one hand and a satchel in the other. He passed it to me as we walked towards the front door. Huh, I almost forgot I had this. I did. I forgot. Rifling through my bag, I found cat treats, the elephant's collar, a broken compass, and my phone. The battery was dead, though. Still, that's one less thing to worry about. Oh, look at that cute little charm. Oh, that made me so sad. Seeing a little cat paw. I checked through my bag once more, finding an empty water bottle. I frowned, distinctly remembering I forgot to pack water for my trip. Or at least Michael told me to. Oh! Man, I was hating on myself for leaving the house without water. And it was just Michael gaslighting me. Didn't I? You ready? Oh. I looked up at Michael, startling when I spotted the large crossbow in his hands. He followed my gaze and shrugged, albeit with a nervous smile, like he'd been caught doing something he shouldn't be. He quickly strapped the weapon to his back and out of sight. Don't worry, I'm not going to use it unless necessary. I would hope not! He chuckled at my indignant tone. You think I'm going to let you out in the woods without guaranteeing your safety? I made a promise to get you back home, so this is just an extra precaution. You don't think it's a bit much? Better safe than sorry, Firefly. No, I don't think it's a bit much. I think it... I don't know what's in this wood. What's like in this forest, and he does. So I'm not... I wouldn't question his expertise on this. He did have a point. Yeah. If anyone knew these woods and the kind of danger it'd be Michael. The kind of danger it held, it'd be Michael. My goodness, I'm trying to push through until we get to like a good stopping point. My brain is absolutely not handling this. I need to do it earlier in the day when I get back to this. Ugh. I glanced over at him again, noticing he changed his oversized cardigan for something more outdoor appropriate. He did indeed, yes. His eyes tracked mine, his shoulders stiffening as a tint spread across his face. So, shall we? He opened the door and waved me out. I stepped outside to glance around his front yard. The landscape wasn't anything special. It was actually left quite plain, just thick with trees and foliage. Only paths of dirt and flattened grass clued me in on the routes Michael would use as he comes and goes, webbing in all directions, trailing to the front door. Come to think of it, anyone passing through would be able to spot Michael's house if they squinted through the trees carefully enough. I guess he was right that nobody's walked through this area in years. I heard a lock torn. A lock torn? I heard a lock turn before Michael joined me by my side. He smiled wide before tipping his head in a direction, making sure I was behind him before he started walking. I was hesitant, but followed suit. It was quiet as we traveled, save for the sound of nature calling out around us. The weather was bright and warm, the sun casting pretty rays through the gaps in the trees. I had to admit, enjoyable as it was, the bird calls and rustling of leaves as we walked somewhat brought bad memories. Yesterday was miserable. I was lost, tired, and hungry. There was a chance I wasn't going to make it out alive. I watched Michael's back as he led the way, the man barely paying any mind to his surroundings. His air would occasionally flick back in my direction, but overall he seemed confident on where to go. Having Michael as my guide home was definitely a great assurance. Made me even more grateful he found me when he did. I sighed and shook off the negative feelings, keeping pace while appreciating the fresh air. I stepped up next to my companion, willing my voice to speak after plenty of silence. This is actually kind of nice. A good old nature walk. I coughed into my fist, feeling embarrassed. I don't go outside as often as I should. Michael smiled kindly. I'm glad I get to bring you then. Yeah, feels different when you know where you're going. Actually, where are we going? He sensed my nervousness and laughed. Don't worry, we're almost there. I looked up and saw it before he even pointed it out. A clearing in the distance, trees growing strangely sparse in that area. I held my breath as I noticed the grass slowly started to dot with flowers, delicate blooms swaying here and there in the breeze. As we got closer, Michael watched me as my mouth dropped open, a knowing twinkle in his eyes. It was breathtaking. A secluded little meadow of flowers lit up by the beams of light, making the scenery resemble a page from a forgotten fairy tale. It is nice. I do like the little butterflies. Butterflies flitted around in pairs, their wings flickering and complementing the surreal yet enchanting ambiance of the whole place. Michael let me gawk some more before walking ahead, turning to face me before sitting down to relax in the grass. He slipped off his satchel and laid it in the grass by his side, along with his crossbow. I blinked out of my stupor and approached him, spinning around to drink everything in before plopping myself down next to him. So, what do you think? Pretty, isn't it? I nodded dumbly before glancing to face him, the man's gaze on me softening as our eyes meet. A butterfly approached us rapidly, making me flinch on instinct. What? You scared of butterflies? It landed on his finger as he held it out, its wings flapping gently. He smiled at the dainty creature, a fond look in his eyes before he held it out towards me. Do you like butterflies, Anastasia? I love butterflies. I think they're okay. I'm scared of them, actually. I love butterflies. I do. I think they're so pretty. This is amazing, Michael. His usual prideful smirk was absent, replaced instead with a shy smile. I'm glad you like it. The sun was at its peak now, the air getting warmer as minutes passed. The leafy canopy over us provided enough cover for us to not overheat. Okay, Michael picked a flower with his other hand and placed it in my palm, his tail looping loosely around us both as my cheeks darkened. He closed his eyes and leaned further back, the butterfly still resting on his hand. My ears caught a soft rumbling before I realized it was coming from his direction. Is he purring? I almost wanted to ask, but I didn't want to ruin the moment. Is he purring? My gaze dropped as I twirled the flower in my hand, holding the stem delicately. The gesture felt platonic, but also romantic. I wonder if Michael was even interested in relationships. He'd been alone most of his life. He'd probably get tired of my presence sooner or later. Before I could contemplate further, the butterfly on Michael's finger took off, my gaze trailing after it as it left the sunlight and flew away into the woods. Which reminds me. Michael? Don't get me wrong. This place is stunning, but is it okay if we go now? He straightened from his relaxed slouch. Why? We just got here. I chewed on my lip, hesitating. I love it here. I do. But I want to go home, Michael. Michael studied my face. Anastasia? Do you want to leave me that badly? Hey, man! Hey! It's nothing personal. What? No! I need time to recover from losing Yellowfin. I know it's silly and dramatic, but knowing he won't be there when I get home, I trailed off, another shot of guilt and regret filling my chest. I just need to get it done with. I felt a hand rubbing my back. Michael nodded slowly, looking me in the eyes. His smile was gentle. That's okay. I understand. But maybe this place can help with that. Okay, Michael, you're starting your bull crap again. Okay. It's a nice spot to nap in, isn't it? I picked it out just for you. Why don't you go ahead and lie down? His words made you sway, a sudden bout of sleepiness weighing heavy over your eyelids. He was right. It is a nice spot to nap in. It is a nice spot. I would love to nap there. Why were you in such a hurry? You yawned, laying back to stretch on the grass. The warmth from the ground seeped through your clothes, lulling you into a sense of comfort and safety. There you go. Just spend some time with me. Just a bit more. Please. Oh! Here's something else I could show you. He reached into his satchel. I pulled out a wooden box. It's called a kalimba. I blinked slowly, clarity coming back as I shook my head to pay attention. The box fit neatly in his hands, Michael holding it as if he were typing on the phone. I could see it had a hole in the middle with thin strips of metal arranged in a triangular shape over it. What does it do? A proud smirk spread across his face. I'll show you. He began to pluck at the metallic prongs, a gentle ringing sound resonating with every flick of his thumbs. It's a very easy instrument to learn how to play. I couldn't recognize a song. He might have made it up himself. I closed my eyes, enjoying the tune. Michael gave a soft chuckle as he kept playing. Relax and listen as long as you'd like, Firefly. A few minutes passed with Michael plucking away at the instrument, the two of us sunbathing like two cats on a Sunday afternoon. I must have dozed off as the next thing I know I felt a nudge on my shoulder. Comfy? He chuckled low when I refused to open my eyes. I mean, if you'd rather stay. My eyes shot open, my whole body jerking to sit up. Michael glanced at me, Kalima in his laugh, and half a forget-me-not chain in his hands. What? I shook my head, slapping at my cheeks. I can't believe I fell asleep. Oh my gosh, I didn't get to read that. Oh man. See how fast that goes by? Yeah, it's alright. He cut me off. His sigh was heavy. That's like the fourth time, man. I was hoping... never mind. He patted my shoulder, though his smile didn't reach his eyes. Thanks for being here with me. Maybe we can do this again sometime? If I ever see you again? Let's get you home. He rolled over to his feet and stood up, brushing off dirt and fixing his satchel. Come on. Oh, I actually get to go home. I wasn't sure if that was ever going to happen. We gathered our things and set off into the unknown once more. Well, unknown to me at least. Michael seemed to have a map of this place ingrained in his brain. You seem a bit sleepy still, so let's freshen up, okay? Oh my gosh. Crap. We walked a bit further away from the clearing, coming across a river. Compared to the rest of the path we walked, the area was shaded considerably with a thick canopy of leaves over us. The flowing water looked inviting as I kneeled down by the bank, Michael idling close by. I dipped my hands in, eager to wash my face. The water was refreshing and cooled my heating skin in the afternoon sun. Oh my gosh. Oh my brain. How will I carry on? I can't read simple words. I pulled my hands back to see Michael peeking over my shoulder into my reflection, smiling with a faraway look on his face. He startled as our gazes met, irises darting away to look at himself instead. Immediately his expression changed. His ears flattened, a grimace twisting his features as his lips curled back. I'd never seen such contempt in his eyes as I did then, staring at his own visage. Oh, that's so sad. He stepped away, retreating underneath the cover of a tree to lean against it with crossed arms. He doesn't notice me watching. I patted my hands dry on my shirt and approached him. You ready? Yeah. I stopped him before he could turn to leave. He looked at me with a questioning look, tipping his head. I hesitated. I was the type to speak my mind directly. Most of the time I'd keep things to myself and let things go by. But nobody should look at themselves and have that sort of reaction. Yeah, that was pretty intense. Hey, you know you're not, I might as well be frank. You're not a monster, Michael. He looked taken aback. What makes you say that? I saw how you're looking at yourself. How you talk about yourself. None of it's true. I keep telling you, you're more than just your appearance. I don't know what compelled me to do it, but I did it anyway. I reached for his hands and held them between us. His eyes widened at the contact. All it took was a day with you, and truthfully, I think you're the most amazing person I've ever met. He made a choked noise. I'm just some old nobody compared to you. That's not... Shut up and listen. He promptly shut his mouth with an audible click of his teeth. From where I stand, you saved my life. You've taken care of me better than I could ever ask for from a stranger. That already proves to me you're not the monster you think you are. You're charming, you're smart, you're sweet. You're a million more wonderful things, but you are not a monster. I take a second to compose myself, lowering my voice. You may look different, Michael, but guess what? His multiple eyes stared into mine, ears flattening as if fearing the worst. That makes you all the more beautiful to me. His breath hitched. I could feel his hands squeezing mine, fingers trembling. It was like he forgot how to breathe. Oh, this is cute. This is a cute moment. I'm sure it's not going to lead to like some weird kind of like dark obsession, like yandere tendencies. Yeah, no, that would never happen. I realized my hands were getting sweaty. Yeah, real. I pulled away hastily, scratching at my neck and avoiding his gaze. I could feel the blood rush to my face. I could dunk my whole head in the river, and it's probably let off steam. So, sorry, that came out of nowhere. It just didn't feel right if I didn't say anything. I hope you understand. An awkward silence passed between the two of us. Anyways, I caught him mumbling under his breath. Sir? I can't let you leave? Sir? Aw, man. You can't take that as a sign that if I leave, I'll come back. You gotta take it as a sign that I just can't leave, period, point blank. What? I said you can't leave. I mean, not without your cat, right? Aw, you. I frowned. I've already tried, Michael. Like you said, it was stupid for me to just wander off in the woods as if I'd find him through dumb luck. He paused, his fists clenching. But I haven't. Huh? I haven't tried. I know these woods better than anyone. I could try looking for him. But that means you can't leave yet. Oh, he looks so serious. Michael, I appreciate the offer, but I don't think I should stick around any longer. I have a job and responsibilities and you hissed in pain, a sudden migraine overcoming your senses. You felt sick, your stomach wringing itself into knots. It felt like the world was warping around you as your legs wobbled. Your body buckled over as you resisted the urge to vomit. Oh my gosh! Michael caught you as you slumped gracelessly to the ground, your head resting on his shoulder as he cradled you close. Michael! For shame. Hey, you don't look so good. Your vision doubled as he spoke, his speech oozing together, words into an indecipherable mess. Are you okay? You need me to carry you home? Let's go. Oh, yes, please. Let's go with your most aggressive yes, please. Okay, no problem. Just hang in there. Hang on to me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You don't deserve this. If I could just one more day with you, I'd be the happiest man alive. I feel like, and call me crazy, I feel like this, just a little bit longer, just like one more moment, just like another day, like another few days, another week, another couple of weeks, a few months, a few years. I feel like we're really slipping sliding here, Michael. Here we are. Let's get you tucked in. I should give you some clothes, especially since you'll be staying another night. Oh, really? You're okay with that, aren't you? Man, you just knocked me out. Ugh. I blinked groggily awake to the gentle sounds of a crackling fire. The itchy texture of worn bed sheets, the weight of a heavy knit blanket. I could recall once or twice having felt these very sensations to the point I'd consider them familiar and comforting. And yet... Oh, man! That is something! Nothing could prepare me for the bright yellow eyes peering into mine. What? Did I just, throw him back? My knuckles hit him square in the face as Michael yelped, nose scrunchy as the taller man stumbled backwards for the stool. Alright, so... Before we got to where we are now, I would have been like, oh, that sucks. Oh, poor Michael. And, to some degree, I guess I kind of am. I don't know, I like him a little bit. He's a cool dude when he's not, giving me migraines to the point I pass out. Or, low-key, high-key kidnapping me. But, yeah. He landed on his rear with the grace of a clumsy toddler on the floor. Yeah, because you just... knocked him out. I sat up in a panic and immediately grimaced, landing back on the bed with an unceremonious flop. It hit me in one fell swoop how my whole body was aching. Every single one of my limbs felt like they'd gone through a ringer and came out the other side, all crinkled and wrong. I groaned aloud, leaning my head back on the pillow. Oh, we busted. We busted his nose. Michael shifted back onto his feet, rubbing his nose. Anastasia! His voice had an awkward croak before he cleared his throat. I'm glad you're awake. How are you feeling? Terrible. He visibly flinched. I'm sorry to hear that. He stepped closer to the bed, leaning over warily in case my hand dramatically whips out again in self-defense. With my hand settled on my lap, he deemed it safe enough to sit beside me. What happened, Michael? You don't remember? I shook my head, wincing a bit as my head pounded. Not at all. Michael hesitated. You tripped and hit your head. I had to carry you home? His words almost slurred together as he fidgeted. My head? I slowly lifted my hand to feel for bumps or bruises, but he hastily snatched my wrist. Don't worry about that. Here, have this. It'll help. Michael gave me a familiar-looking drink as he quickly pressed a cup in my hands. Hum! Sitting up with some effort to take a sip, I couldn't help the small sense of deja vu. The amount of times I woke up in his bed, dazed and disoriented, is almost uncomfortable now. At least a drink was helping, just like you promised. My body felt lighter as I finished. What's in the drink, Michael? Michael took the cup from me and set it aside before wringing his hands together with a nervousness I haven't seen in a while. So, I'm sorry this happened. I didn't mean for you to get hurt. I sighed and waved aside his worried with an embarrassed grumble. Wouldn't be the first time I tripped, if you could believe it. It's not your fault. He gave a soft chuckle, but it sounded guilty. I suppose you're right. It's just... His face looked like he had a million thoughts running through his head. I promised, didn't I? I said I was going to look out for you. I said I was going to keep you safe. Instead, I made you hurt. His voice cracked. I'm so sorry, Anastasia. The sudden change in demeanor was startling, to say the least. You couldn't predict that was going to happen, and I'm fine, see? Oh, Firefly. I guess you're right. His expression carried a lingering doubt, but he quickly masked it with a small smile, his eyes dim. In that case, you'll be staying? The way he said it almost sounded like a decision that's already been made. Well, yeah, I mean, it's night again. Or a plea. Ooh. What do you mean? His eyes darted aside. You agreed to let me find Yellowfin, remember? Did I say that? I sure did not! Yeah, liar. So, you'll be staying a little while longer, right? He didn't even let me get a word in. In fact, a feeling of uncertainty washed over me, as if we'd had this conversation before. We did. And it ended with me being like, no, I gotta go home. I got stuff to do. But I, go, oh, wow, my head's starting to hurt. Oh, why did I... Bam! Passed out. I didn't even read that. Besides, what's the rush? It's already late and you're in no condition to travel anyway. I blinked before glancing out the window. Pitch black darkness greeted me as I realized he was right. Yet another uncanny feeling spread throughout my chest, shivers crawling down my spine. I don't know why, but something about this whole situation felt wrong. I feel like I'm forgetting something else. Michael had a nervous look on his face. Maybe you hit your head harder than you thought? His words didn't sound confident. How long was I out? A couple of hours, I think. You, really took a hit. It was that bad? My brows creased as I tried to recall the day's events. I don't remember tripping. There was a river. I remember you. And then... Your memory must be fuzzy. And for good reason. After all... Oh, I just got... Okay. My stomach rumbled suddenly. What did that say? And for good reason. After all, that's been a rough few days. Okay, that's all I said. Echoing the quiet room, there was a heavy silence right after. Michael was polite enough to hide his chuckle under a palm as I blushed. He seemed relieved. Well, lucky for you, I've got dinner on the way. It should be ready soon. You're okay with soup, right? Soup? Soup sounds alright. My stomach growled once more, the pain of an empty gut making me wince a bit. My host noticed immediately. Oh, maybe we should get you some food sooner than later. Do you feel okay enough to get up? I nodded with a grumble, swinging my legs over the side of the bed before noticing something was on my lap. Wait, what's this? I unbundled the pile of thick fabric, realizing it was an oversized sweater and a pair of baggy sweatpants. What a lovely fit. A mushroom pattern? That's oddly cute. The material felt warm but comfortable. A towel laid right next to them. Is this for me? Oh. I figured since you'll be staying another night, you might want some fresh clothes. They might be a few sizes bigger. Or a lot. Probably a lot. If you're taller than me by so much, then yeah, it's probably a lot bigger. Sorry. I mean, that's fine. I like to wear oversized clothes anyway. He'd gotten shy for some reason. On the other hand, I didn't have to take a whiff at myself to know I'd probably reek. It's been like one day. Oh wait, no, I didn't shower. I just went to the restroom. Okay. So it's probably been more than one day since I've showered. I nodded again, giving a small but grateful smile. They're fine, Michael. Thank you. You know, another thing I had to owe him. I couldn't help feeling like I'm taking advantage of his kindness now. Don't fall for his trap. So, you know where the bathroom is. Take your time cleaning up. I'll be in the kitchen if you need anything. I'm really happy you're here. He stood there for a good few seconds, fidgeting with his hands as if he wanted to say more, before finally heading to the kitchen. I watched his back retreat before hoisting myself up and heading to the bathroom. Now that I was done, I had a moment to gather my thoughts. The nagging feeling was back, a prickling feeling across my skin, raising goosebumps as if to tell me I shouldn't be here. I just couldn't place my finger on what. I should be careful. I was probably just being paranoid. I think I should be careful. I just couldn't shake the feeling that Michael was hiding something. He'd been a gracious host so far, but that didn't make the most trustworthy either. There's definitely something I'm missing. My mind was wandering even as I undressed and stepped under the shower. The icy chill water did nothing to distract me from my nerves. If anything, it elevated it. I was a shivering mess by the time I was done cleaning myself up with whatever soap he had laying around. Once I dried myself, I inspected his clothes inside and out to see if there's anything off with them. They smelled like wet grass and burnt wood. What a combo. What a killer combo. Considering his lifestyle, it made sense for his clothes to have that sort of scent stuck to them, I supposed. Putting them on, it just reminded me how big and tall Michael was, compared to me at least. Glazing him. I looked it up. He's like 6'2". That is pretty tall. I'm like 5'5", so yeah. Compared to me, that's pretty tall. I fidgeted and fiddled with the sleeves and waistband until I could somewhat comfortably move. I swear. I got through a good few sentences without messing up. I'm doing better. There's no mirror in his bathroom, so I had to assume I looked like a walking potato sack. Better than nothing. That's true. What's that? Just a cabinet then? Gathering my courage, I shook out my hands and straightened myself before exiting towards the kitchen. A savory scent filled my nose. Michael did mention dinner was almost done. I can't wait to see the pretty food art again. As I entered, I saw Michael by the stove, idly stirring something crimson in a pot and humming quietly to himself. His content smile widened as he saw me, his ears flicking. I tried to not look uneasy as he looked me up and down. How do they fit? They're all right. They're massive. They're pooling around me. Much too big for me. He nodded, turning back to the pot. I can see that. You're right. His smile faltered as he picked up the wariness in my tone. Is everything all right? His eyes held a sense of worry, his shoulders tensing. I can get you something else to wear if you'd like. There's no need. He paused, hand gripping onto the ladle tightly as he continued to hesitate. Anastasia? There's another pause before his brows furrowed. I'm not an idiot. You don't trust me, do you? I mean, we've been trying to leave for the past, like, what, day and a half? Since the moment we woke up, basically, and every single time there's some other excuse. I flinched. Michael looked her as he sighed. So I'm right. His ears flicked by the sides of his head as he turned back towards the stove. Can I just know why? His eyes were sad as he stared at the pot, as if he'd been in this situation before. Has he been in this situation before? Is this just a hobby, catching humans and keeping them around for a bit? I thought I did everything right. Oh. Truthfully, I didn't expect such a direct confrontation. Also, okay, I did everything right because I used whatever hypno skills I got going on. Alright, yeah, sure I did. You can't, you're basically forcing us to stay. Whatever. You know what, there's no rationalizing with these kind of... If you don't know what a yandere is, you can't really rationalize with them. There's a lump in my throat as my fists clenched at my sides, which I don't know if he is at this point. I'm sorry, I read a sentence and I'm like, huh, maybe I should finish my thought. I don't know if he is at this point, but I know that's like where this is going, because I think it was made for like a game jam, like centered around yanderes. So like, yeah, I know we're getting there at some point, but it's just the kettle started whistling, but he was clearly ignoring it. I swallowed down my growing anxiety and decided to be up front. Okay, you know it's bad when the little music's about to start up. Or no, was that just the teapot? The kettle. I just didn't expect to be here again. It felt like the wrong thing to say when Michael's frown deepened. So you never wanted to be here. I didn't mean it like that. No, man, I never wanted to be here. I came looking for my cat. You know that. And like, yeah, okay, maybe we could be friends along the way, but it's like, no, I was here for my cat. I was very upfront about this. Then how else could you possibly mean it? Okay, all right, he's getting angry. Another deep sigh slipped out of him as he reached to lift the kettle off the stove, mumbling to himself. I was hoping you'd be different. What was I thinking? Hey, all right, dude. What'd you say? Nothing. Michael, His forlorn expression made my words feel thick on my tongue, forcing me to reluctantly swallow them back down. Any trace of suspicion I had faded and was replaced by a feeling of guilt. Yeah. I think that's obviously how he wants you to feel. I'm sorry. I just thought I'd be home by now. I know, I'm sorry too. Oh, here we go again. I did everything right. I don't understand why you're upset with me. I thought you'd be different. Let me just, like, make sure you never leave. And then blame it on you. When you feel like, hey, maybe this isn't actually what you want to do. He lifted his gaze towards me, eyes full of regret. Oh. But is it really so bad, Anastasia? I know being lost in the woods with a man you don't know can be scary. But I promise you, you're safe. The last thing I'd ever want you to be is scared. He trailed off. So just trust me, okay? Can you do that? Please? I swallowed and gave him a nod. My gut still roiled with suspicion. That's a new phrase to me. Every fiber of my being wary of him to a certain extent. He seemed satisfied enough, though. I just added enough. I don't know where I get these words from. I just pluck them out of the air and throw them in. Eager to move on past the tension. Thank you. His mouth quivered at the edges, all four of his eyes squinting with the slightest bit of hope. Please let it be different for once. Why don't you take a seat, Firefly? I'll be right with you. He was already turning his back towards me to start preparing the tea. I slowly approached. Hey, let me help this time. Michael startled, surprised to see me beside him. Oh, sure. Could you get some bowls ready? We're having tomato soup. Heck yeah. Oh, do you want some grilled cheese with yours, or would you prefer garlic bread? Ooh, okay. Some good choices. Oh, no, I have to actually make the choice. Grilled cheese, please. Garlic bread, please. Just a soup, please. I'm not gonna judge you if you eat tomato soup by itself, but that feels like you really want something to put in it. But do I want a grilled cheese or garlic bread? I normally do grilled cheese, so not that I like eat that often, but you know, if I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna do grilled cheese. Got it. I brushed past him, feeling his tail linger by my ankle as I grabbed the bowls and spoons from the bottom shelf. He started preparing the sides, the smell of toasted bread filling the kitchen and mingling with the soups. I took over preparing the tea. Finally, I ladled the soup from the pot into a larger bowl just as Michael finished flipping the last piece. Ooh! Yay! We settled in for a nice hot dinner. I just think that's really cute. It's cute little food art. Regardless of how I felt about tomato soup, Michael's turned out rich and creamy with an amazing balance of sour and sweet. Dipping in the bite-sized, I did think they were a little small, but that makes sense. Bite-sized grilled cheese sandwiches made it taste like pure savory comfort, crisp and gooey. Even if I've never had it as a kid, it still made me feel nostalgic somehow. I like that they're adding in these, like, you know, conditional, I guess. Regardless of how I felt, even if I've never had it as a kid. You know, just some of those things where, like, you can relate, no matter who you are, because they're adding in those little extra catch-all phrases. Regardless of how I feel, this was pretty good. There's still a feeling of stilted awkwardness, but the food helped ease us both into a warmer, lighthearted conversation. That's good. I didn't realize how hungry I was until I refilled my bowl, Michael watching me with his chin propped into his hand. He does that a lot. His own bowl sat empty. Apparently he'd already had his fill. Is tomato soup your favorite? His question was innocent, though his eyes were observing me carefully as I shrugged. I think I'd love anything you cook. That's fair, it always looks really good. He stilled, taking a second to process what I said. Oh! Well, thank you. No, thank you. Usually I get takeout or microwave dinners. Yeah, I can cook. I just never have anything in the house when I'm ready to do that. Nothing beats home-cooked food. What's a microwave? I snickered and tried to explain it the best I can. A metal box that heats up food. That sounds like, what's the word in those fantasy books? Magic? Am I using that word right? I laughed lightly. Yeah, sometimes science is just like that. We talked about other kitchen appliances off the top of my head, slowly branching out to other human inventions. He seemed even more interested. It's interesting that he, you know, goes to the library and, like, goes out to grocery stores. Like, he's been in human civilization, but he still doesn't know some things that are pretty common household items. I never understood how technology worked. I pulled out my phone and let him fiddle with it, though with the battery dead, there's not much I could show. He was clearly disappointed. I know I would show him all of the most funny to me videos that he would be like, I don't understand what I'm even looking at. It's about as useful as a brick. Yeah, when it's dead. For now. Otherwise, I'd have a whole network of information in my hands. His eyes lit up. Like a library? And you can access it at any time as long as the battery is alive? And as long as I have an internet connection. Right. Internet. I didn't know you could do that. I just see people staring at them all the time. It seemed boring. He looked at my phone again, a look of wonder on his face. Having a whole library in your hands. Everyone must be really smart then. Well, not everyone likes to use as a library. More like a messaging hub? Or a source of content consumption? He is. His ear flicked as he stared at me with a blank smile. Consumption? You can eat it? Yeah, he has no clue what I'm talking about. How do I explain to him the very concept of Web 2.0? I cleared my throat, deciding that I simply won't. Yeah, that's too much. Yeah, this is definitely a give an example and like show you and work through it type of thing. Maybe I can show you what I mean someday. His eyes brightened, seeming to like that idea a lot. You mean that? I can have some? Yeah. I think it's about time you started getting a little more modern around here. No offense. Imagine what you could do with a generator. His smile widened just a tad, though there's still a cluelessness to his face that was just a little endearing. Jenny Raider? I laughed and reached across to pat his hand, a gesture that made his smile wobble. Like I said, I'll show you someday. A loud thwack sounded against the floorboards, followed by rhythmic thudding. Yeah. Okay, like a dog. Leaning over, I could see the tip of his tail was wagging back and forth, the tip of it slapping against the floor almost comically. Michael looked flustered as he laughed softly, pulling his hand back to rub his neck. Sorry. He looked like he had more to say, but exhaled heavily, gathering himself before tilting his chin towards my empty bowl. Are you done? I nodded as he stood and collected our dirty dishes, heading towards the sink to wash them. I followed close behind, carrying the mugs. We made quick work of the dishes, heading back to the living room to relax. Michael headed to his basket of knitting materials, his movements routine. I wasn't sure what to do with myself. Now that the food was no longer a distraction, I felt uneasy again, glancing around the room and staring at the window. Michael was eyeing me as he grabbed the stool and dragged it to the center of the room. Is there something outside? His question sounded innocent, but it had a sense of wariness to it. I shook my head quickly. Nothing, I was just... Something catches my eye from under the bed, glinting like a knife. Is it a knife? Does it glint like a knife because it is a knife? Oh no. Why would you make that comparison? Tilting my head lower, I could see it was a tin container the size of a shoebox. Why would you be like, it's glinting like a knife? It's a shoebox. Calm down. What's that? Michael looked up. Under your bed. A panicked look came across his face. That thing? Just some emergency supplies? Yeah, nothing too special. I had an inkling he was being dishonest again, but I figured I'd leave it for another day. I see. I want to get inside that shoebox. There better be a chance to get inside that shoebox. I can't imagine they'd introduce it if there wasn't. But still, I gotta make my wants clear, my demands. Michael watched me for a moment or two before clearing his throat. Hey, Firefly? I've been meaning to ask. Do you remember what you said at the river? The river? Oh. Where I tripped? I pursed my lips and thought. I don't remember what I said either. As the player, I do not remember. I did not remember. Not really. Everything feels fuzzy to me. He seemed disappointed. Oh. Not even a little? I shook my head. Why? Did I say something stupid? Just some things. It made me happy. Oh god, I think I did say something stupid. Before I could ask about it, he already gestured towards the bed. Well, you should get some sleep, Firefly. Want to wake up nice and early to find Yellowfin, right? The idea of looking for my cat once more made me wilt. You really think we'll find him? Michael looked on edge, pocketing his hands. It doesn't hurt to try. But it does hurt to hope. Aww. Yeah. His face twitched. Well, his ears flattened as he thought of something to say, clearly struggling. He finally opened his mouth to respond, his words slow and careful. I'm here for you. Thank you, Michael. He nodded, a strange mixture of polite happiness and hidden anxiety playing across his face. He's probably not used to another person sticking around this long, let alone someone going through a loss he could care less about. Maybe I've been enough of a burden to him. Actually, can you just send me home? Oh, good. Didn't forget about, wanting to go home. And he's like, please drop it. His brows raised, his posture straightening in surprise. Are you sure? But what about Yellowfin? Don't you want to see if we can find him? I'm sure. A look of apprehension crossed his face. But it's so soon. Yellowfin could be out there. Michael, please. I can't think about him right now. I just want to go home. He fidgeted with the sleeves of his cardigan. But he looked like he had so much more to say, but whatever turmoil going on in his head was quickly swept behind a reassuring smile. Okay, get some sleep, Firefly. You've been through a lot. He went to collect his blankets again, already arranging them into a nest like the night before. The words left my mouth before I could think twice. Oh, what are you about to say? Oh, yeah. I can trust you, right? A flicker of surprise crossed Michael's face. Of course you can trust me. He didn't say anything else, as if that one line should be enough to convince me. Well, I mean, what kind of response do you expect when you... Because there's obviously some level of distrust anyway. The only way you're going to gain the trust is through actions. And I don't see no reason to be trusting Michael right now. And honestly, it was too late to start an interrogation that's only going to end up in me feeling guilty for upsetting it. I got under the covers, facing the wall with my back towards him. I could hear him setting up his nest behind me before finally quieting down with a satisfied hum. I want to sleep in a blanket nest. Sounds good. I closed my eyes. Is he going to be staring at me while I sleep again? The last thing I heard was the gentle crackling of the fireplace, accompanied by Michael's knitting needles clicking away in the dark.